I'm Jason Goliath,
And I'm Nicholas Goliath.
and this is a new podcast called The Happiness Economy, where we try and unpack, figure out, investigate, interrogate, I think holistically understand what is happiness even.
What is it to you? What is it to me? Is it different? Is it the same? What do you do to chase your happiness? Just chase it. We want to chat to people who we believe have found their happiness or are on the way to finding their happiness and find out what it is that makes them happy.
So, if you're happy, we're happy. The Happiness Economy with Nicholas and Jason Goliath. Tell her what you must. All right, welcome to the Happiness Economy. This is the Robby Collins episode. You would have seen him on Netflix. You would have seen him on Amazon. You would have seen him opening for Dave Chappelle. You would have seen him at the top of South African comedy for the last 15 years. One of the greats, one of our favorites. And after 15 years and after all those things, freeloading, wearing a cap so that he can get free hotel accommodation from this hotel. What's the name of this hotel?
The Maryland in Sea Point.
The Maryland.
The Maryland in Sea Point and
Who's
in
the
Durban.
owner? That asked you to do this favor?
Yes, name and shame that freeloading
let's talk
bastard.
about the owner.
Because no one offered us free rooms.
No.
No, but you guys, I've got a room for another comedian actually.
Yeah.
So you guys must just holler at me if you want accommodation.
So the Maryland in Sea Point, nice hotel.
Very nice hotel.
You have to
Luxury
say it's a
accommodation.
nice hotel.
And they make breakfast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, I can tell you that not only do they make breakfast, but every room has got extra length beds because if Robby sleeps there, best believe.
Thank you.
Best believe. You'll sleep in 2 seasons.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if that makes any sense.
None.
Only the first time I stayed there, I smoked in the bathrooms. Fucked up. I put that shower on hot and I smoked.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's your
It is
friend's
what it
hotel.
is.
You can tell her whatever you want.
So, Rob, the purpose for the podcast, and we've got to stay focused on this episode. The purpose for the podcast is we invite people who we deem to be happy, or people who we see happiness in them, and we just want to interrogate it and understand where that happiness comes from. You are somebody who, one of my favorite things about you is your consistency of mood. It's like even when you're grumpy, you're consistently happy somehow. There's like a great consistency. It doesn't matter where you see Robby, before or after the show, always vibes, always positive, always nice things. So we break it up into GAP, which is gratitude, acceptance, and perspective. Are you able to exist in a space of gratitude? Do you know where your gratitude comes from? Are you a grateful person? Have you accepted who you are, where you are, what you are, why you are, and have you accepted responsibility for that? And are you able to manage the perspectives in terms of the way you see the world, the way you react to problems? So it's that old analogy of 5% what happened, 95% how you react to a thing. And that's all essentially that we want to talk about for the next 45 minutes. So let's start with what gratitude means to Robby Collins.
Straight in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight
You
in.
do it
Straight in.
just nice times, yeah.
I think right now, over the years, I've realized what I pray for has changed.
Yeah.
I think that's where I can start with that. Before, even 2 years ago, when I prayed, I always asked for things.
Yeah.
Always asking.
Yeah.
And that's changed where I'm saying thank you. I no longer ask.
You say thank you.
I just say thank you. I name everything that I'm grateful for and I say thank you.
And what brought about that change in the way you pray? Like, was it just one day you stopped or thought about it? Was there like an event? Did you meet a religious person? What made you change the way you pray?
I think I went through a very rough patch when it comes to it didn't feel rough at the time because things were going well.
Yeah.
That's the thing with our career.
Yeah.
So when I was drinking a lot, staying out late, dabbling in drugs, be honest, my career was going well. You can't tell me that things are bad when I'm on tour with Chappelle.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's like you don't have time to look and go, hey man, this is
My personal life is not.
not right.
Yeah.
Because you measure success in life and happiness, well, I did, by what I'm accomplishing out in the world. I didn't have moments to myself. Then pandemic hits. And that's the
Life got real very
life
quickly.
got very real, and it was everything that I thought I loved and needed was taken away, and now you're just by yourself.
Yeah.
And before the gratitude came was a lot of depression. Those sleepless nights, not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
Realizing that I used comedy for a good few years to escape myself. And because I naturally turned that into jokes, I didn't see it as escaping myself.
It's also difficult because a lot of people escape in a lot of different ways. You know, a lot of people escape with alcohol, escape with drugs, etc. But the comedy escape is dangerous because you also have people applauding you every day. And people telling you, well done, you're amazing.
And they're applauding your fuck-ups.
Yes.
So if you're getting a laugh on being heartbroken, or if you're getting a laugh at being poor or depressed, comedy somehow works in the negative.
100%.
And when negative meets negative, turns into laughter, and we both go, oh wow, things are messed up for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And
then everybody's in shit. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And nobody wants to hear about a good time on stage.
Yeah.
So then you just go away from that. And I realized before I started therapy that I'd only speak about my problems up until the punchline.
Say that again.
So stabbed in the face, being heartbroken, I'd only get to the part where I'm making everyone laugh.
Yeah.
And then once the joke seems like it's run out and there's no more funny in it, I stop talking. And we move on to the next joke.
Yes.
Now when you involve a therapist,
that's a different...
The
therapy starts at the punchline. That's where the real work begins.
Exactly. And learning to speak. So like many reasons I felt like for the drinking thing and staying out late and even befriending people that I wouldn't say are bad people, but are, after a certain time at night, it's who doesn't want to go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all know who you're talking about, Robby. We won't mention his name. But we know he's got a rum in his boot.
Wow.
Yo, Nick.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Man. I did it just for a joke, man.
Unnecessary.
So that's the other thing. So it's like realizing that I'm not as complete as I think I am. And comedy. The thing is, I don't want to blame comedy for it because I really love comedy and it's the thing that gave me hope in life. But I abused it in the sense of giving it too much pressure to complete me. I totally forgot about the other part.
Yeah, because you are the consummate comedian. Like, out of all the comedians, you are the one who is always just hustling, always pushing, always comedy's in front of everything else.
Always trying to get on stage.
Yes,
always trying to get some more stage time.
And it helped me become a better comedian because I was literally but also at the same time, I was at the point where I was like, I don't want to be at home on a Monday. So I don't. And it is being an alcoholic. It's like I don't want to be at home on a Monday. What else is there to do where I'm going to find a group of people that are out? Comedy.
Make bad decisions. Yeah. Go to comedy and make bad decisions.
Comedy. You got adrenaline after the stage.
You don't want to go home.
Don't want to go home.
Attention that you crave.
All that stuff. There's people who are admiring you. There's ladies. There's feels nice.
Everything that you need.
And that ego is just being flooded with false love.
So it's that. I mean, on the Nina episode, we spoke about understanding dopamine and where you get it and managing that process, which is something that I am terrible at. I think I'm a dopamine addict.
Is it?
And I'm always chasing. Like I want to eat my favorite food every meal. I'm that type of guy.
But that's also comes from poverty. That's also a poverty thing.
Can we have one moment? Can we just have a moment on this show where we allow vulnerability and respect each other?
No, we allow and we respect. That's why I didn't say anything. I just laughed because you brought it up.
Rob, I find you fascinating. I remember the first time I met you was at the Underground, and I couldn't believe then like how humble and down to earth you were. You were a big comic then already when we started, and you've always had this way of treating everybody around you with kindness. Is that part of your happiness? The way you treat everybody, always respectful, always mindful. Is it just the cultural thing of the upbringing? But I think everybody knows Robby as such a nice guy.
Is it a thing you even think about, or is it just...
No, that I'd have to give to my parents, specifically my mom.
Yeah.
My mom, and I sit on stage, people think I'm joking. My mother was a nun in the 70s.
Yes.
In Cape Town,
yes.
Grassy Park.
Who's the eldest child?
Claire.
So Claire's the one that broke the Holy Spirit. Clay's the one. Is it Clay's fault? Your mom was like, I am not, and then how many
the
kids
party
now?
that broke
5.
the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, from a
It was the
nun,
result of the broken
from a
Holy
nun, and we
Spirit.
love you, we love you, Auntie Carol, we love you. But
So
from a nun
much.
to 5 kids, there were a lot of questions must be asked. there.
Yeah,
Because you're
totally.
getting none.
But but the so so my mother becomes a nun during apartheid times. For the 2-3 years she was a nun,
Yeah.
a lot of her work was charity.
Ah.
So my mother's been arrested twice for fighting apartheid, the apartheid government.
Yeah.
They used to hide a lot of political prisoners in the church. And when she met my father, she still maintained that character in the church. And so what they'd do is they'd bring in these orphans from like the farmlands.
Yeah.
And they used to stay with us as kids.
Yeah.
So there are
That's crazy.
5 of us. We're already
Plus.
poor,
Yeah.
and now another 3 mouths.
And those mouths are hungry. They haven't seen Charles in long. They haven't seen Charles. Those orphans don't know a full drumstick shame. Yo.
So the sharing was always known. There was always people in our house, and we used to get angry with my mother as kids because we were poor, bruh.
Yeah.
Like like visitors, bruh. Before cell phones, visitors knew when dinner was being served.
How do they know?
Come and knock on your door.
Dog. It's that thing of dishing up and there's somebody, bruh, and they'd come and they just knew Auntie Carol's got stuff.
Yeah.
And you just had to, the door was always open. The person who taught me how to ride a bicycle, his name is Sipo.
Yeah.
Sipo was from the Eastern Cape. He came through orphan. He ran away from whoever adopted him.
Yeah.
He ran away to the church. He just came to the church. They're like, yo, Carol's got kids.
Yeah.
I think she'll get
Yeah.
along with this one as well. And Sipo was the guy. He went to our school, taught me and my brother and sisters how to ride a bicycle. And it was just that thing of always knowing, and this is the thing maybe for people of color,
Yeah.
even when you're doing well,
Yeah.
poverty's here.
Oh, yeah.
You can't walk away
Hey.
from poverty. Don't matter how
It's
well
close.
you're doing, bro.
It's close. It always feels close.
Always feels close because it doesn't matter what car you're driving, you know that homie.
Hey.
You know that cousin. It's like,
You always feel like you're 2 Miss David orders away from Zimbabwe. Like in your life. I don't know how else to describe that.
You know what happened to Q when he spoke about Zimbabwe.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Still
it
out
with
here speaking.
with love.
Please note the views.
dude, even Trevor on The Daily Show, when he had The Daily Show, he said that he still fears poverty. I was like, bro, when last were you thinking,
Yes.
how am I going to eat? But that thing is still in you.
Indoctrinated almost.
So I think just growing up like that and realizing that there's always less fortunate, or not less fortunate financially. It's always how do you include a person and make their life easier. So you might not have to be giving financially. It's like how and also
How
growing
can I
up.
add value to
How
your
can I
life?
add value?
But you can give of your time, you can give of your
Yes.
kindness, you can give of your space, you can give of your...
You can just sit and listen.
Also, with the big family, you realize like my mother can't help everyone here.
Yes.
On the same day, like there's some days where it was like I remember Meryl's birthday, and my mother said, "I'm taking Meryl to KFC. I'll come back for you guys later." And we all like, "Hey, it's Meryl's
That's a
day,
real...
brother.
Hey, enjoy Mero.
Hey, man, hey, have fun,
Enjoy
man."
Mero.
And that was the thing, bro.
Say one,
You're
two
not gonna
pops
finish
for
all your
me.
chops, bring it home.
You can just bring me the sachet of the secret salt to make other things taste lager. Do you think that whole experience and that upbringing gives you an advantage in terms of finding your gratitude? Because finding gratitude is not easy for everybody. Even people who you sometimes perceive like it should be easy for you because you have all these things. So has it been easier for you to be grateful in hard times and hard situations because of the experience that you had coming up, because of the way your mom opened the home and taught you to be the same?
I had a couple years where I forgot that gratitude. And that's because, and sometimes I wish I knew less. You know, social media, and you know, before you start comedy, you just have this dream.
Yeah.
Like you guys used to come to the gigs every week. I didn't even know you were planning on being a comedian.
Yes.
You were just dreaming from the corner
Just there.
of that room.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have these things, but you didn't know the flippant politics and all this
No.
nonsense that comes
No
with it.
clue.
Yeah.
So I sometimes wish that I didn't know as much, because once you enter it in, then so-and-so is telling you, so-and-so is telling you what you should do, or who you should, do more of that.
Yeah.
That's how you get more gigs, or not even work-wise. You start feeling all these influences and losing touch of that.
Yeah.
And I think I got caught up in chasing, I don't even say it's an image, but just chasing this thing I don't know what it was. At one stage, I didn't know what I'm chasing.
But I think
The
that
fame.
we speak often about
it's
people.
that-
No, but it's that also that thing of you chasing the perception that you have from looking at people who you think have what you want.
Yes.
So it's like you chase this perception of what they have, what they're doing. It's also, and I think that you must give yourself credit, because the pressures for you are different, because your friends are Trevor Noah and Dave Chappelle. Your friends are at the top of the game. You walk in and out of those rooms, which puts you under even more pressure, because
Does it put you under more pressure?
Yes.
No.
Does that relation? Because I came in knowing that Robby's Trevor's friend. Robby and Trevor are besties. Then I'm like, and it's the same, I suppose, with me and Jay, where people go, there must be pressure, there must be competition for me to want what he has, to be as famous, to kind of push for that. So does it create that for you?
A comedian said to me once after the Dave Chappelle tour, said how I didn't use it. He said, you killed the night, but you didn't use it to better your career.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a thing. And then I heard that before in my early days opening for Trevor. Like, you haven't used that
Yes.
as a thing. And then I look back at it and I go, okay, but if I got the money that I started getting in recent years, I think I'd have killed myself.
Absolutely. I can
If I must-
second. No, I can second.
If I must be honest with myself, I'm like, if I got all those things that I thought I wanted,
You almost killed yourself while you were broke. You almost killed yourself on a scooter in the middle of the night going to McDonald's when you were drunk. You know what I mean?
that's
So
very
if
true.
you almost
But-
killed yourself while you were broke, you would have definitely killed yourself if you were making
Yeah.
money then.
So yes, I did feel the pressure, to answer the question. I did feel the pressure, but now when I look back at it, I'm very glad that all those things, like, you know, like sometimes you go through a thing and you look back, especially you look at your bank accounts, you go, I totally ruined this situation.
Yeah.
I could have totally
Yeah,
come out of here better.
Could have acted different, yeah.
Yeah, I could have acted differently.
Yeah.
Then now I'm not practicing happiness. People say choose happiness, and this is what I've learned before I got to gratitude. I've learned to choose forgiveness.
Ooh.
Because I don't think you can wake up and choose. Well, for me, I
Forgive
can't.
yourself.
If I can forgive myself, I can start waking up every day and going, I can start again. I was walking around with too much guilt and anger, whether it was at my father, whether it was at different people who had hurt me in my life. And I was like, if I can't forgive myself, I'm not forgiving the next person.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's so
And you
nice.
carry that weight with you
Oh,
everywhere.
man. And you know that thing, Maya Angelou's at bars, like bitterness and hate, it eats upon the host. It's the one who's carrying it.
Yeah,
That person who hurts you,
100%.
that person's gone, bruh.
They're out.
That person's in sumo.
They're out.
So that's one thing I learned to practice was the forgiveness. And then the next step came gratitude.
Acceptance. So I think you've alluded to a lot of things where you've.
Sorry, am I
had to-
answering your questions properly? I feel like
I'm loving
just,
it. No, I'm
Just
loving
saying
it. I'm
things,
loving
and
it.
it's working. It's working.
I'm say more of those things. So from an acceptance point of view, I love that thing of, I think it deep, and I think that you've taught me something today, and this is the reason for the process. But like part of acceptance, we always go like, you have to love you first. And one of the things that I point out when we do the live version of the show is I go, there's a very simple test that I have to prove if you truly love you. And I go, if somebody close to you gets a big win, and your immediate subconscious reaction is, why not me? Or a little bit of frustration to the fact that somebody else has got a windfall, then you've got to start with you and accepting you and loving you. forgiving you, I think, should be a huge part of accepting you, because you can't accept you until you've forgiven you. And I think that we all come from spaces where we were taught certain things. We've made agreements with ourselves that we've broken. We've disappointed ourselves here and there. You look at the bank account, you look at whatever. It's easy to be, but forgiving yourself is a great part, I think, or a great place to start from a perspective of accepting who you are, what you are. But I don't know if it's just age, but you're feeling like a different animal. Is there an acceptance that happened in terms of Robby accepting Robby? I remember chatting to you after one of your US tours, and you'd kind of said that something clicked in terms of what you want versus what you thought you want. So is there a magic happening from a Robby accepting Robby point of view?
Yeah, I think in a personal way, just accepting my past and realizing and forgive myself and go, okay, that's not me. And also going, okay, I really don't like things from the past, but they are really good things.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Wonderful things.
Wonderful things. I'm not talking about career. Like, I'm like, yo, I might have been drinking a lot, but I made everyone feel welcome.
Good times.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these alcoholics out there are assholes.
Just mean drunk.
I was a jolly drunk. I was such a lovely drunk.
Yes, I'm like, yeah, bro. That's. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna tick that off. So just realizing, like, yo, you know better, you do better. And also, but before knowing better, you have to admit that you can do better. Even though you don't have answers.
Yeah.
It's the same reason you start comedy and you go on stage and go, I'm going to try that new joke. I have no clue what's going to happen.
100%.
All I know is that I want to get to what's on the other side of this thing.
Yes. Yeah. And I believe there's something great
And
on
I
the
believe,
other side.
and that was my thing where I realized during lockdown, when things opened up and the party started again.
Yeah.
Then I was like, just cutting off.
I like how for you it wasn't things opened up and we were able to go back to work. Things opened up and the party started again.
Rob, you didn't do anything prior to comedy. You didn't have a career, any other job. Like,
dropped out of school, my first day grade 11. First day grade 11. My mother taught at a private school. I went to a government school. Came home. My mother's school was only going to school the next day.
Yeah.
Came home. She's like, why are you here? I was like, hey, Ma, I don't think I can do it. She's like, why? He's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't think so. And then she was like, okay, cool. Just go wash dishes. I'm going to talk to you now. Then she sat me down and she had a whole... By the time dishes were finished, there was a priest pulling up.
and this was before cell phones. A small child from the area had to go running.
And you know, that's the thing. Like in the hood, like it's priest or the uncle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Who's the deacon in church.
Priest or deacon or lay minister.
And they were talking to me, what are you going to do, you know? And also the whole thing of poverty so close. Like, yo, don't miss up this opportunity.
Yes.
You have a mother who's trying to put you through school. And I was just like, I also started realizing, like, I have 5 siblings, 3 sisters, 2, and it's 2 boys. My older brother decided to live with my father.
Okay.
So I always felt this responsibility as the man in the house.
Yeah.
I need to do things. I need to work, provide. So I was like, I'm wasting my mother's money.
Yeah.
Like I'm genuinely, apart from me, I started smoking weed at that age, 17. I was like, this is just wasting her money. And also comedy started running in my head. I'm going to do this. So I went and started doing these jobs, worked as a engine cleaner at a place called Dieselman in Pinetown, where I just scrubbed engines for these guys. Whole day.
Just to make the bucks.
But I'd work a job for maybe 3 months, and then I just wouldn't go there. If somebody called and said, hey, there's another hookup here, wouldn't give notice.
Listen, if you dropped out of grade 11, because I had that energy second year varsity, but if you dropped out of grade 11, best believe no one was shocked when you left. Best believe no one was like surprised. I can't believe. No.
We were just going to let him start cleaning the bigger engines.
I remember once going to, in the classified, they had a paper, they had a thing saying, for marketing and sales. And I was like, and they said no experience needed.
Yes,
and I was
and
like,
you read that as no
God is
matric
talking to
needed.
me.
No, but even with matric, I looked for that no experience needed. Also, that was, you highlight that and you're like, yeah.
I say to Mama, I need bus fare going to Umhlanga. Hey, go through there. It's, those things are 3 taxis. It's a small house in Umhlanga. Bruh, go in there. There's another Indian lady, some white guy, barefoot. I'm like, this is not gonna end good. Then he's like, he closes the curtains, because during the day, closes the curtains and puts on a thing. It's one of those pyramid schemes. And I'm calculating in my head, bro. I'm calculating it. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna sell lotion and makeup. Which one of my friends are gonna buy this thing?
And also your calculation must be struggling.
Convince your bra. Vaseline.
Calculate.
Vaseline is no good for you. You need to use this brand.
Bruh.
The reason your life isn't going well is because you're brushing your teeth with Colgate.
Yeah.
You need this Amway toothpaste in your life.
So now I'm working it out, and I'm like, okay, so you're gonna employ us. You know how a pyramid scheme goes. And I'm like, but so I must aspire to be you, who's barefoot here on a Tuesday.
Nope.
In this
Which
house.
is a pretty nice move. Like, to be barefoot on a Tuesday.
No, but
during
there's
the
2
day.
types of barefoot.
There's 2 types. This
There's
barefoot
barefoot of I'm on leisure time,
Yeah.
and there's barefoot of this is how I roll. My
Yeah.
foot look like a goodie.
No, because when you sell those things, you walk.
you know those guys.
You walk, bruh. I sold ADT. I same move like that. My man, alarm systems, my guy. Walk, bruh. Walk.
Door to door.
Door to door, knocking on people. Yo,
Dude. So when comedy came around, it was literally like an announcement at home.
Yeah.
Hey, I found the thing. I'm doing comedy.
this.
And my mother, she was like, okay, cool. So because you didn't study, I've kept money back for you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just give you bus fare to the gig.
how old
that's
are you at this
amazing.
time?
This is 21. So from 17 to 21, I went and stayed with my sisters in Cape Town for 6 months. Worked for a call center called Wine of the Month. You know how hard it is to sell wine on a Monday? My man. My man.
Monday not a good day for selling
dog,
wine.
nobody's happy. So did that, and then after 6 months, was my first time I was allowed to vote. I'm 21, and then my mom. No, it's the first time I'm allowed to vote after turning 18.
Yeah.
My mother says, "Okay, I think it's time you come back to Durban." Got back, voted. Then the comedy show was advertised, and I was just like, "Okay, guys, I'm doing stand-up." And from then, in.
Sorry, the reason I asked is just
Yes.
the appreciation for the thing and the will to work harder and want more. I find that people who just came straight into comedy didn't have anything else. They don't have the full appreciation of what comedy actually is
What a
and what
gift.
it can do for you in
Yes.
life, how it can show you the world. There's almost there's an expectation that comedy must give you the fame and give you the thing, whereas you were saying like it's a thing that you have to work toward.
Agree?
No, yeah.
So in line with what Nick's saying, and in line with the point of the story where you find comedy, we speak about perspective and the ability to switch the lens, and I think comedians are extraordinary at that. A comedian can look at a situation and immediately find the funny. So it's easy, access to the funny lens is very easy. Where somebody could see tragedy only, we'll come in and point out where the humor is. Do you think comedy helps you change the lens to life and being able to see the silver lining, being able to see the bright side, being able to access the positive, and not reacting negatively to things that you don't have to be negative about?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think learning, because our thing is instant gratification.
Yeah.
The joke works, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then we also get back tomorrow night and see that how it can work. Whereas in a lot of people that are in 9 to 5s, you just in the system.
Yeah.
You're just going. So there is a control of like, if I make an effort here, if I did so well last night and I'm barely working, if I just do maybe 3 shows a week, I can get to a certain point. You know what I mean? Like some comics, and you got to get rid of that thing of feeling like you deserve stuff.
Yes.
That thing
Doesn't
of-
matter how good you are, because it's easy to feel it, especially when you're funny.
Dude,
You start feeling
But I
like you
think that's
deserve things.
Also,
No one.
general, just in life, people need to stop feeling like they deserve stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody.
hard that thing, like I've heard comics say it, and I've also felt it as a comedian. I'm working hard, I deserve. Then you also realize that there's timing in life that your hard work isn't going to just give you a thing. Think about it. There's people that have worked hard their whole life, and and just to provide for their family.
100%.
And that's
to
where
just barely provide.
just barely, and that's a success. That is genuinely a success. So I've had to realize that over time is to stop to look at people to learn,
Yes.
and like to get rid of my ego and realize that if I'm going to be looking over my shoulder or looking to see what's happening in that lane,
Yeah.
it's how do I learn from it?
Yes.
Because I'd never cared about the business of comedy.
Yeah.
And then maybe 3 years ago, I realized it's show business.
Yeah, business.
It is. It's show business. Because I just was like, if I work hard and just keep cracking,
Just make these jobs.
somebody's going to come and make me rich and famous and all those things.
Because that's the way it used to work.
It used to work like that for the one or two little people that we know, but not as a general rule. Then people made it a general rule for themselves that, you're hoping somebody's going to come and save you. You mentioned earlier about somebody coming to you to say you wasted an opportunity. So you opened for Trevor, you wasted an opportunity. You opened for Dave, wasted an opportunity. I feel like we are old enough now to know that there's no one thing that is just going to change your life. Because a lot of people exist in that fairy tale that the first time you open for Dave Chappelle, all of a sudden you're going to be world famous.
Yes.
The first time you open for Trevor, all of a sudden you're going to be booked more than everybody else. But it's a culmination of all the little moments and showing up all the time that eventually gets the big thing. Like, you know what I mean? There's no just on your marks, get set, life change. Yes, we've heard those stories. Those stories do exist. And even in the cases that pop to mind first, those are generally people that were outworking everybody around them to be able to be afforded that opportunity where somebody comes and changes your life anyway. So is that like a truth, or do you ponder about I wasted that opportunity? Or have you realized there's no one thing? It's just a collection of consistent effort.
I think one of you guys said this to me where I first went overseas and you had been in 2015, I went in 2016.
Yes.
And you guys kept telling me about Montreal just for laughs.
Yes.
And I remember coming back from it and I was like, you guys didn't even hype it up enough.
We didn't. Hey, that
You
thing was
didn't-
special.
But somebody said it to me. One of you guys on Paw Pop said, God won't show you a thing he doesn't want you to have.
Oof.
But now when I look back at it, when you talk about the Trevor, the Dave,
Yeah.
I was like, God will show me this thing, but he's saying this is what you can have.
Yes.
But you need to live. You need to do these things.
Yes.
And for me now, when I look at it, I'm like, I won't say that I'm ready for all this fame or all this money, but I am definitely ready, and I can feel myself moving 2 steps forward.
Yes.
In
the
a far better position. Yeah.
Far better, and knowing how to control it and conduct myself, and also be who little Robby wanted to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think for a long time I was surviving.
Yes.
And surviving my upbringing and turning that into comedy, and then surviving my 20s and relationships, and just because I don't want to deal with the work I need to do to take it to the next level, finding myself in relationships. Like, I look back, and no disrespect to anyone I dated, I'm like, I shouldn't have been in half those relationships.
100%.
We knew.
We saw them. We were like, no. So glad we can finally talk about this. So, bring in the list there, Eric. Just bring in the list. Let's go from the top. Let's go.
I had no business. Page 1. Page 1.
Yeah.
But I had no business being in those relationships because I didn't have anything to offer.
Yes.
But I didn't. That's the truth. I didn't have anything to offer because I wasn't full within myself, and that's a sad truth. But it's like,
it's a cornerstone of acceptance.
Yeah,
it's like I wish I could make it, like, I wish I could download the way I feel about gratitude, acceptance, perspective into people's lives. Like, not try and articulate it, because the articulation never
lands.
It's like
Yeah.
never lands the way it should. But I feel it when you say something like that. So, firstly, I want to say thank you for being Robby. Thank you for being consistent. Thank you for getting funnier. Like, every time I see you, Nicholas said in the beginning, you really are a comedian's comedian. And I say that with such love and respect. Like, we aspire to be able to do it like you. When we watch you do it, we feel like, oh shit, that's the way this thing is supposed to be done.
Now you make us feel shit.
No, we really make us feel like we don't work at all.
Funny. You know,
And you
have
do it
to
with that
compliment
ease of
yourself. You
yours.
have to
I still don't know how to drive, so it's fine.
Oh yes, you don't have a license. Yay!
That's okay.
Yay.
That's okay.
No,
Everything in its time. Like you were saying, if you had too much money at the wrong time, you would have died. If you have a car,
Yes.
you're
Facts.
I'd have died with others.
Exactly.
You'd have taken friends.
Yeah.
You'd have taken friends with you. The Goliath Happiness Index, gratitude, acceptance, perspective, we rate where you are right now on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being as low as possible, 5 being could not be better. In terms of in being able to exist in a space of gratitude as consistently as you'd like to, 1 to 5.
Ooh, I want to say 4. I want to say 4.
Yeah.
I really feel like things are in a good. I don't want to say that I'm in control of stuff, but I have better knowledge of situations that I'm entering.
Experience is a gift. my friend.
Understanding.
And understanding and the other thing I realized in my last trip coming back from New York last year,
So with no matric, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
and there's so many comedians out there and realizing and doing well there, like doing the big shows and stuff, realizing how special I am and how replaceable I am in the same
At the
breath.
same time.
The
Oh,
world-
that's nice.
the world moves on, bro. And realizing just in this space today, because I saw something and they said, in life we have every 80 to 100 years, everyone swaps.
Yes.
So everyone who's here is going to be gone,
100%. Forgotten.
and we're going to move on. Whatever you did, whether good or bad, it's going to be
Gone.
forgotten. So it's like, this thing carries on. Comedy will carry on. All these things, they move on, and I just got to go, okay, cool. Right now, I'm in the position to offer people my story and bring joy, and then the next person's going to come.
Come and enjoy it while I'm here.
Totally. And that's how I'm trying to practice
Kate
life.
said it. Life is short.
Life is short.
Life is short.
And you
Make
don't
the most of it.
realize that. You don't realize it until you get to a certain age.
Yeah.
And you also lose a friend. And like I've had friends. I lost a friend 2 months ago. This is a good person.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you go, yo, man, this person's left a wife, he's left kids.
Gone.
He didn't ask for this. And it's just like, oh, but you're still around. You're still around. So hey, make this thing work. Like, make this thing work for the best of your ability and the ones around you.
Yeah.
Acceptance, 1 to 5. Accepting who you are, where you are, what you are.
4.
I feel you're 4.
Yeah. I'd even
It took
push
time, though.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
A
It
lot.
took time.
Yeah.
Because in honesty, there was a long period in comedy where I think a lot of the conversations about you when you weren't there was just how talented you are and how you have no direction. And that has completely changed. It's like it's a
Yeah, you left that in
beautiful thing.
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
You left it in BC.
Yeah. When you was on the
Before
comedy club
Corona.
stage going, we are not fools. Then we're like, yeah, no direction.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
wow. Yes.
No, and it's beautiful to see the shift in you.
Thank you, my brother.
Like
Yeah.
to see the adult coming out. That's what it feels. I feel like it's the wrong words, but it's
And I know it's said from love.
yeah.
No, lots of love. Lots of
Yes.
love. Perspective. Being able to see the silver lining. Being able to not make it about you and being able to find the positive. 1 to 5.
That I think I'm pushing on 5. But I have my days.
Yeah.
And even like I seem happier and all those things. I do have my days. The difference is now when I feel depressed or feel down, I let that shit ride out.
You sit in
deal
it.
with
I
it. Yeah.
deal with it. I'm like, okay, cool. This is the day for bed and Netflix. I'm gonna sit there until okay, cool. I snap out of it and I go, all right, let's go back and face the world.
I believe that. I'll never forget you once told me a story, and it's not a funny story, but it was so funny the way you said it, where you're like, hey, started jogging today, and then overestimated myself, and then ran to a point, and I was like, I can't run back, call the Uber. called an Uber to take you back home. At least I ran. You know what I mean? At least I ran. My planning could have been better.
Driver thought I was hijacked, guys. Like, why are you sweating like this?
Literally running away from home there.
But it's like it's you know, so those situations you can look at it so many different ways. You could feel so many different ways about it. But forever that memory is a good memory. It's a funny memory. You could be beating yourself up, you could be disappointed, you could feel whatever. But you put the right lens on, you make sure that you living with the right stuff, and then we laugh about things forever. It's like such a gift of comedy that certain moments in our lives. I mean, you speak on stage about being robbed. I can't see the fear. Like I know there was fear,
Yes.
but when I think about you being robbed, it's this hilarious comedy of errors that happens. You know, the way you like, there's just three guys, two of them American, one of them just had a strong self-esteem. But really, I'm just like, that is such a way to, and I honestly think that in my heart, that should be some type of therapeutic tool, is to be able to go in and rewrite the story in your mind. Because that's the gift that comedy has given us. We take an experience, we rewrite that experience to bring laughter out. Then to remember what Robby Collins said about the real work on yourself starts after the punchline. And as long as you can do both things, make the story great, but do the work after the punchline, I think that your life will end up just fine. You will have no need for grade 11.
I must actually find, my mother has my CV somewhere. My mother keeps
picture on the
everything.
front.
Diesel Mac cleaner.
Did it ever can't drive but can clean the engine, boy.
My CV had everything, like the awards I won at prize giving. In grade 7, I never missed a day of school. So I was like, always on time.
That award was always the most hilarious. Like even at school, because I remember years later, Dettel made an ad about getting the 100% attendance. Yeah, that's because we use Dettel at home just to clean the things. You know what I mean? So hilarious, so hilarious.
I only ever got that thing once in my life. The 100% attendance.
I never got
Primary
that
school.
thing. I was not lazy for a sick day. I was
I
not lazy.
developed
boy.
that late in my life.
I was
Yeah,
not
that
lazy.
happened.
But I never bunked school until matric. I only bunked school for the first time in matric.
Oh, I bunked school for a
You
month
bunked
once.
grade 11 and 12. What the fuck are you talking about?
You still bunking.
You bunked grade 11 and 12. You bunked school. You bunked school. Yeah, Rob, where's your matric certificate? I was bunking. I was bunking.
At the office.
Still am. Still am. I even sleep in a double bunk. I am a bunker. In the same energy, with that smile, please look into that camera, state your name, and tell people why they have to watch this episode of the Happiness Economy podcast.
Hi guys, my name is Robby Collins and I am a comedian. And you have to watch this episode because there's a hotel in Sea Point.
Big facts!
Yeah.
Big facts! Do not miss the Robby Collins episode!
Yes.
Trust me, whether you travel or not.
What is the name of the hotel?
The Maryland.
Maryland. Yeah.
Thank you, Robby Collins. We love
So
you.
will they give us at least a
Yeah.
discount?
They would, definitely.
No, bro, after this, they're
They
going
do.
to change
Oh,
its name
definitely.
to the
Yeah, we must
Goliath.
download this episode and just when we
No,
get
after
there. Because
this,
Sea Point
boy.
is very nice.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful out
We are
there.
basically sponsored after this. I'm
Yeah,
telling
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's right by the, you know where the Espresso Live is, where they
Yeah,
record.
yeah.
It's literally on that little street.
Where they used to be, they moved now.
They
yeah.
moved.
But
They
I remember
moved.
that with that big balcony. I know that.
Yes, yes.
Close to Good Hope and all of those.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So not only are we marketing for them, we're also now giving you directions.
Here we go. We'll drop a pin in the
Yeah.
top comment. That's it. We'll drop a
Yeah.
location. No, we won't. No, we won't. Go and find them. But more importantly, go and find Robby Collins. If you want to see how comedy is supposed to be done, go and find Robby Collins. Wherever you see a Robby Collins poster, there will be comedians in the audience taking note. I promise you.
Yes. You don't just
Thank
get
you.
to open for Dave Chappelle.
Don't be me hanging.
Don't just.
Thank you, my brother.